welcome to another episode with me as your host Shaghayer, a unit from the collocations in use, towns and cities. Here we have the unit 20 of the book. We can start with, again, the quiz question as always. I give you 5 seconds to give the correct answer. Which of these adjectives do you think collocates with the word roar? Incessant. Well done if you're correct. We have living in a modern city. As always, I will highlight all of the collocations. Cities are fascinating places to live in, full of contrasts. On one hand, a sprawling city may have imposing buildings, tree-lined avenues, and upmarket shops. Tourists often enjoy walking along cobbled streets or relaxing at pavement cafes. Before exploring lively bars and fashionable clubs at night. The city skyline itself can be breathtaking. City skyline is a collocation. On the other hand, urban areas also face serious challenges. Face a challenge or face challenges is a collocation. In the inner city area, there are often run-down areas with poor housing and even no-go zones where people feel unsafe. High-rise flats and industrial zones. So we have industry, but when we have the adjective form turns to industrial. Dominate the landscape. Another collocation. Verb. Dominate collocates with landscape, creating a very different picture from the charming old town. Daily life can also be stressful. Traffic congestion during rush hour means long commutes with bumper-to-bumper traffic and clouds of exhaust fumes. People living in the commuter belt often spend hours traveling to and from work, adding to the already huge volume of traffic. Despite these problems, many city residents value the diversity, opportunities, and a strong sense of community that urban life provides. Key collocations: cobbled streets, old style streets paved with stones. The old town is full of cobbled streets that attract tourists. Lively bars or lively restaurants. Energetic, exciting places to eat or drink. The city center is famous for its lively bars. Pavement cafes. Cafes with outdoor seating. We sat in a pavement cafe and watched people go by. Fashionable clubs. Trendy, popular clubs. You'll find lots of fashionable clubs in that district. We also have fashionable clothes. So another collocation, but not related to cities and towns. Next one, tree-lined avenues. Wide streets with trees on both sides. Paris is known for its tree-lined avenues. Upmarket shops. Expensive, high-quality shops. That part of town has upmarket shops selling designer brands. The city skyline. Outline of buildings seen against the sky. The city skyline is dominated by skyscrapers. Imposing buildings. Impressive, grand buildings. The museum is housed in an imposing building. Inner city area, central, often poor part of a city. The government is investing in inner city areas. A sprawling city, a city spreading out in a disorganized way. Los Angeles is a sprawling city. Poor housing, low quality housing. Many immigrants live in poor housing conditions. High-rise flats, tall apartment blocks. She lives in one of the high-rise flats downtown. Urban wasteland, neglected empty area of a city. The factory closure left an urban wasteland. Rundown areas, neglected in poor condition. The docks are now in rundown areas. Industrial zones, parts of a city with factories and warehouses. The industrial zone is on the outskirts, away from the residential areas. Boarded up shops, shops that are no longer open, covered with boards. There are many boarded up shops in town center due to the recession. No-go areas, places where it's dangerous to enter. Some parts of the city are considered no-go areas at night. Traffic congestion, heavy traffic, making movement slow. There is serious traffic congestion in city center during rush hour. The volume of traffic, the number of vehicles on the road. The volume of traffic has increased dramatically in recent years. Bumper to bumper traffic, cars very close together in a traffic jam. We sat in a bumper to bumper traffic over an hour. Exhaust fumes, gases released by vehicles. The air was thick with exhaust fumes from the buses and lorries. Commuter belt, areas surrounding a city where people live and travel daily to work in the city. Many people live in the commuter belt and travel to the capital every day. Rush hour traffic, traffic at the busiest times of day. For example, I always try to avoid rush hour traffic by leaving earlier. Make sure to write down your own examples and practice collocations 3 times a week. IELTS speaking part 2. We have the cue cards related to the topic cities and towns. Describe a city or town you have visited that you liked. Where it is, when you visited it, what you liked about it, and explain why you enjoyed your visit. One of the most memorable cities I visited is Prague. I went there about 3 years ago and I was immediately struck by its beauty. The cobbled streets, tree-lined avenues, and the spectacular city skyline with historic churches created such a magical atmosphere. I loved sitting at pavement cafes in the old town, and in the evenings the lively bars made the city feel vibrant. What I found especially appealing was the mix of old and new. On one side, there were imposing buildings from centuries ago, and on the other, modern upmarket shops and restaurants. Unlike many big cities, Prague didn't have much traffic congestion, so I could really enjoy exploring it on foot. Overall, it was a city with a unique charm and a strong sense of community, and I would love to return someday. IELTS speaking part 3. What are the advantages of living in a big city? Big cities offer many opportunities from jobs to education and entertainment. You can find fashionable clubs, shopping centers, and a wide range of services. Also, the diversity of people often creates a strong sense of community. Question number 2. What are some problems faced by people living in cities? The main issues are traffic congestion, exhaust fumes, and overcrowded housing. In some inner city areas, you also can find rundown built housing or even no-go zones, which can make life stressful and unsafe. Number 3, do you think more people will live in cities in the future? Yes, urbanization is increasing worldwide. People move to cities for work and better facilities. However, if governments don't address poor housing and the growing volume of traffic, many cities will become less livable. How can governments improve life in cities? They can invest in public transport to reduce rush hour traffic, renovate boarded up shops, and improve housing in rundown areas. Planting trees along avenues and creating more green spaces can also make cities healthier and more pleasant. See you. Thank you for your listening.